It's that time of the year again. The holidays will soon be here. It's amazing how fast the year has gone by, isn't it? So I made this video to suggest some holiday gifts for the retro gamer. First up, the Atari Flashback 9. What makes this one special is that it includes an SD slot so you can put your own games on there. Next up is the Sony Playstation console Flashback if you're into the old Sony games. And now it should be much easier to pick up an NES Classic Edition or a Super NES Classic Edition. They're available at most retail outlets. And if you already own an NES Classic or a Super NES Classic and you would like to buy a new controller for it, they're available over at Amazon.com. And also Target has the wireless variety for $11.99. Next up is the PAC-MAN Plug and Play by Bandai America for about $20 over at Walmart.com. If you're a modern gamer but still like the retro, there's the Sega Genesis Classics over at GameStop. It's also coming out for the Nintendo Switch on December 7th. Next up is the Atariage store. There's a ton of new retro games available, including one I recommend, Mappy. But all of these are really terrific games for a reasonable price. Next up is the Intellivision Revolution web store, where Donkey Kong Jr. has just been released, so go check that out. And over at CollectorVision.com, they have a number of games and accessories available, including some t-shirts, so you can get your Sydney Hunter t-shirt over there for $20. And if you missed out on the Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe OST, the original soundtrack, you can pick it up over at this link right here. Switching over to the Commodore 64 at rgcd.bigcartel.com, there's a number of products available for the Commodore 64, including Planet Golf, the amazing game by Antonio Savona from last year. Switching over to Steam, there's Destruction Paper, which was recently released and is only $4.99. Also on Steam, I picked up a little game called Retro Maze, which was available for only 49 cents, which is a neat little maze solving game where you go through the maze and try to figure it out. Also, you can pick up Atari Vault over on Steam for only $9.99, and sometimes it even goes on sale for less than that. Switching over to books, over on Amazon.com, the Atari 2600 Homebrew Companion Volume 2 is available for $12.99. There's also a nice collection of throwback zines available over at Amazon.com, and they're reasonably priced for each of these editions. While on the topic of books, the Fusion Retro Books website has a number of terrific books that are for sale, and I've picked up a couple of these, and they are awesome. Their books are also available in PDF format at a heavily discounted price. Another new Commodore book that was just released from a Kickstarter was Commodore: The Inside Story by David John Pleasance. And I got a copy of this, and it is a fantastic book, and I highly recommend it if you can check that one out. Next up is Programming Games for the Intellivision by Oscar Toledo G. His book, which was normally priced at $36 for the hardcover, is on sale for $25. In the coming soon files, we have Space Moguls from Protovision Games. There's a Commodore 64 version of Portal being developed, which is coming out soon. The Eye of the Beholder is a stunning RPG conversion coming to the Commodore 64. And finally, there's another amazing game coming to the Commodore 64, which is a demake of Limbo, which looks amazing. And there's also a playable demo for this that's been released. But they're saying this one's not coming out for a couple more years, so look forward to that. Over on Atariage, there's a work in progress on the Anteater port coming to the Atari 2600, and let me tell you, it looks amazing. Speaking of works in progress, John Champeau is busy working on his Wizard of War port to the Atari 2600, which is currently about 90% complete and is also expected to be released this spring. Additionally, John Champeau shared the following with me. There's a multi-port adapter being worked on by Nathan Tolbert, expected to be released sometime next year. The adapter will allow up to 4 joysticks plugged into one joystick port. With this adapter, you will be able to play Wizard of War in 2-player mode and have all the Atari Box voices working as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Over at RetroGameDev.com, you can pick up a copy of Derek Morris's Commodore 64 development book. He's hard at work on his follow-up right now, which is listed as Commodore 64 Edition Volume 2. Derek was kind enough to share with me the price point of the book and the number of pages, which is $29.99 for the printed version and $24.99 for the Kindle edition, and it's clocking in at 250 pages. He also shared with me the chapter titles of his upcoming book. It should be out sometime early next year, at which time he'll start focusing on an NES version of his development books. Next up in the In Case You Missed It files, Antonio Savona has a new game out. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it's coming out in early January and you can pre-order it now over at this link. Also, I just discovered this game, Shadow Switcher, which was put out by the same people that brought us Shotgun, and it looks terrific, so I've ordered myself a copy. And in the spirit of the holidays, I encourage you to remember to donate to people whose podcasts you listen to or whose tools you use. That's all for now, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.